compliments as her, music and art in general. Now, do you remember the first time you came to live in Nairobi?
Yes.
And what brought you to the city?
Job.
Yeah. So, well, for me, I still don't remember what brought me to Nairobi and the first time that I came to live in the city. And it all dates back to the year 2010, and that was December 25th, Christmas Day. You see, at that particular time, I had just completed my A-level studies in Uganda, and I was at home. And this time round, it was different because apart from all the family members being present at home, we were class one. We had one more person in the family, and this being the son to my elder brother, who had been born 3 months before, rather 3 months prior. And I remember on this particular moment, my elder brother's wife was standing there in the kitchen, and she was telling stories or rather catching up with the rest of the family members. In this case, the ladies in the family, and I was there leaning on the door frame, just getting to eavesdrop their conversations. But one thing caught my attention. She talked of how she was searching for a caregiver for her child because her maternity leave was coming to an end. And I thought, maybe I can do this. After all, as an upcoming artist, I needed money to record my music. So I tabled my offer to be the caregiver. But she was not very optimistic of my offer, probably because of maybe the society notion that caregiving is largely a role for women. However, luckily for me, all my referees were present at the kitchen, in the kitchen. I'm talking of my sisters and my cousins. I had babysitted their children since they were infants several years ago. And so they strongly put in a word for me in my presence there, and that's how I got the job for caregiving. And so on 3rd of January 2011, I trooped into this green city under the sun to work as a caregiver. And I worked for straight good 8 months, caregiving for a child with special needs. I bathed him, I fed him. Every other day I stayed late night with him until he slept. And I also took him to the hospital for therapies. And the hospital that we largely visited was Kenyatta National Hospital. And I remember very well that at the hospital, the therapist, the doctor, would always tell us, ensure to network with other parents who have got children with special needs. In this case, being cerebral palsy. The child has cerebral palsy. So the doctor would always tell us, ensure to network with these parents with children with special needs, just like literal Joseph. But at that particular time, I never really understood the term networking. You see, I had only come across that particular word back in high school in Form 1, when I was taking the computer classes. And so, over the period, I looked forward to join campus so that I could take computer science course and learn networking, so that I can help other children and other parents with such children with cerebral palsy. And so came September 2011, and I joined Makerere University. At the time, I wanted to, before I I wanted to take economic finance. However, my admission letter read Bachelor of Arts in Education. So now you can imagine the tall order that I had, getting to walk around the administration block corridors, trying to change the course from, rather switch the course from education, not from education to economic finance, but education to computer science. Unfortunately, the slots were filled for computer science, and so I had to come back to Kenya because at that particular, or the former Makerere University, the intake is only once per year. In Kenya, I did not get to take computer science, but I was enrolled at the Greenwich University under the Multimedia University of Kenya partnership. And that's how I ended up taking Bachelor of Business Information Technology. And I looked forward to studying networking so that I can bring the change out here. However, I remember very well one of our computer programming lecturers told us that programming is the best way that we can express ourselves through coding. And in another instance, our Faculty of IT chair told us that with programming, we could change the world out there by coming up with all these innovative solutions. And it immediately clicked on me that I did not want, rather my heart did not want networking, instead it wanted programming. Mm-hmm. And that's how up to date I get to develop softwares and systems that get to impact the world, more so child protection. What do I mean by that? Every day that I come to work, I look forward to developing systems and softwares that automate your business processes so that at the end of the day, you are able to just click one button and get to accomplish whatever task that may have taken you past work hours to accomplish. And that way you'll be able to go back to your children back home early and spend time with them, understand them, and best protect them. And so it's not always safe ride for me. There are times that I get to I get to question myself. I have sometimes this self-doubt, all right? And so such times I go back to this particular story and it ignites in me this new fire for me to keep pushing. And I'll say, rather, as Rich Divney, the author of The Attributes and a former US Navy SEAL, puts it, beneath obvious skills are a successful recruit's core abilities, the innate traits for a person's performance as an individual and in a team. And he also says, at times, events will momentarily override our ability to make sense of them and short-circuit our rational decision-making process. In such extreme situations, how you perform is much less about what you know than who you are. So, who am I? I am a multi-talented artist and a full-stack software developer on a special mission to protect every child through programming. And to you I ask, who are you and what brought you to this great city and